Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, my name is Dee, aka The Messy Perfectionist, and on my channel I like to have real talk. I share inspirational and personal growth life tips and more. I am a certified life coach as well as a certified holistic nutritionist, and today I wanted to share with you some of the tips that I use to eat healthfully on a regular basis that will make your life easier. We all know that eating healthy on a regular basis can be challenging sometimes with our busy schedules. And as I went ahead and followed my own tips this weekend to go ahead and get ready for the week, I thought this might be a good video to share with the rest of you guys. So if that sounds interesting to you and you'd like to learn a little bit more, please stay tuned. First of all, I wanted to start off by saying Happy New Year to all of my friends out there. I do hope that the year is starting off well and it treats you well for the rest of the year. I know the last couple have been very stressful for most of us, if not all of us, in one way or 10,000. With that, a lot of times we make New Year's resolutions. And a lot of times we can all start out with a big bang, right? We're like gung-ho, we're going to follow whatever plan we're doing, do really well with it. And then after a couple months, it kind of falls off. And why is that? And I would say the biggest reason is sustainability in the program you're following. If you cannot maintain this on a regular basis, it is going to fall apart. It's super important to build that foundation, right? What helps build that foundation up? Making things doable and easy in your life. Most of us have very busy lives. We have families, we have jobs, we have housework, insert whatever here. So you need your plan to be doable. I have a chalkboard in my kitchen that I would write down my menu for the week on. And on that chalkboard, I would also write down a quote that I found many years ago. And I don't know who it's by, and I may have mentioned this before. If anybody knows who the quote is by, let me know in the comments below. But it is, if you fail to plan, plan to fail. And that just resonated with me so well. And I needed that up on that chalkboard to look at that and remind me that it's important to plan and then follow through on that plan. So today I wanted to share with you some of the tips that I use that will help make it easier to eat healthfully on a regular basis. Does this mean you have to be perfect? No. Does it mean 100% of the time you have to eat healthfully? No. If you're eating healthfully 80% of the time, 90% of the time, some people follow a 70-30 rule, you are still going to be making a big impact on your health. Now, there are some of us, like myself, I recently had vertical sleeve gastrectomy. You know that if you've been following along on my journey. So it's very important for me to be selective on what goes in my body those few times a day, because my stomach is very small, my intake is very small, and I need to be mindful so that I can get the nutrients in my body that I need. So step one, plan. Planning is easier than ever when it comes to deciding on how you're going to meal plan and meal prep throughout the week. You can look online, you can use apps, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of those things. But if you don't have those options, just grab a healthful eating cookbook. There are so many out there, or I'm sure you have some at home. You can pull some healthy eating recipes out of those as well. So there's not that much of an excuse as far as finding recipes, because we really have so many options these days. What I do is I plan one day a week as I sit there at the end of the night in front of the TV. I have a really great app called MealLime. It's one word, and I'll go ahead and I'll post the link down below because I really love this app. For me, this is the quickest way to do my meal planning and all the steps that follow after that. At the end of the night, once my daughter goes to bed and it's just me and my husband, we're sitting there watching a movie, I pull out my phone, open up MealLime, and you click Start New Meal Plan for the week, and you can go ahead and pick as many recipes as you want. You can pick the amount of servings. I typically go with, because they're generally big servings, I generally go with picking 4 meals and with 2 servings for each of those meals, and that will complete my week along with some of the other things that I do at the end. What I love also about this app is that you can prioritize. It makes it super easy that you can pick which kind of caloric intake you want. So if you have a certain caloric intake on a meal, you can select by that. You can also select by dietary restrictions if you are pescatarian, or if you are on paleo or keto or low carbing. You can also separate by that. I just generally have it go all and then look through there. I've used it over the last couple of years, and so I just renewed my membership for it, and I cannot remember how much it is a year, but for me it is well worth it. Not just because it's I can do all those filters right there and go ahead and select the recipes that I want, but it also then has a grocery option. So after you import your recipes, it will then have the grocery listing. You can then go through that and deselect all the things that you already have. And you can also then import it to your grocery list, to your store for pickup or delivery, which is great. If you have that ability to get that app, I highly suggest trying it. If you don't though, and you got to go old school, you can look on the internet. Just search whatever you're looking for. High protein meals, meals under 500 calories, low carb, whatever it is that you're looking for, you can find recipes online. And then go ahead, print those out, put them in a binder. I did that for the longest time before using MealLime. I used to sit and I had an autoimmune paleo cookbook that I loved. I would write down those recipes, write down my groceries, and obviously that's going to take a lot longer, but you can still do it in the time that you're watching a few episodes on Netflix or during the time you're watching a movie in the evening. Second tip to help make your life easier as far as meal planning goes is then use a grocery delivery system or a grocery pickup system. I know this option is not available to everyone. If you live in a rural area, sometimes this can be difficult. However, most major grocers these days offer a pickup option. So if you can't do deliveries like Instacart, you can definitely, if you use Walmart or Fry's or Safeway, where they do the grocery for you. Why do I say use this option? So many reasons. Okay, number one, you're going to save a ton of time. Okay, money in the long run on gas, driving to and from if you can get delivery service. Did I mention time? That is such a big one, okay? It literally saves you hours, all right, between shopping and checkout and all that other stuff. What's the other big benefit of using either a delivery or a pickup service grocery shopping? You are buying just what you need. You are not shopping hangrily. You are not shopping and seeing all those wonderful treats out there. You are buying what you need for the week. That is the greatest help if you struggle when you go grocery shopping to want to buy everything in the store. If this is not an option to you, I understand you have to go grocery shopping, but then stick to your list. Obviously, if you forgot something like toilet paper or paper towels, yeah, you need to pick up. But as far as food items, stick to your planned out grocery list for the week. I use Instacart now all the time. I went ahead and got an offer from them to pay $10 for a year. I think I should have looked this up to see what it cost actually. Let me just look real quick if I can find it online. One moment. So if you don't sign up for like a yearly thing with Instacart, they will just charge you per delivery. So you don't have to do the whole yearly thing. A lot of times, for I would say for the first year, we didn't. Okay, so my goodness, 100 years later, right? Instacart looks like it costs about $100 per year, and then that skips your fees for every time you do delivery. So if you're going to use it weekly, I think that is worth it. But again, up to you, your budget, all of that stuff. A lot of times the delivery services through the grocers wind up using Instacart anyway. So like we would shop through Fry's and say delivery service, and then it would be, powered by Instacart anyway. You guys will have to look on the App Store to see how much, to check for sure, to see how much Instacart costs, and also MealLime if you're interested in that meal planning app. So my third tip, after you have meal plans and you've gotten your groceries and now they've come in through the door, whether you've picked them up yourself or have them had it delivered, now it's time to meal prep. Go ahead and look through your meal plan and make whatever you can ahead of time. An example of this is if your recipe calls for brown rice, and I do suggest using long grain brown rice over white rice. It has a lower glycemic load. Brown rice is going to take a while to cook, but it's healthier for you. It has more fiber, it has more nutrient value for you than white rice does. Anything that cooks quickly, as far as grains like oats and things like that, are going to be higher on the glycemic index, and they're also going to not have the full nutritional benefit that their slower cooked whole grain food has. The more refined something is, the less nutrients it has in it. And generally, a lot of times, higher calorie content or higher carb content, or a combination of both of those. So if you're going to pick a grain, I suggest using brown rice. But back to your meal plan specifically, cook those things ahead of time. Things like brown rice. If your recipe is going to call for boiled eggs, say you have some salads in there, boil those eggs. If you're going to go ahead and roast veggies for the week, go ahead and peel and cut up those veggies, put them in a Tupperware, stick them in the fridge. Anything that you can meal prep ahead of time, do it. It's going to save you time during the week. It's going to save you on dishes later on, and you feel better about eating healthy and just your life in general if you're not pulling your hair out. It's 6 o'clock at night trying to spend an hour meal prepping. No. Do as much as you can right after your groceries come. That is my best suggestion. Here is an example that I do. If I get my groceries and let's say on my meal plan I have some salads and I'm going to make a pot of steel cut oats for the week, and I'm going to have some roasted vegetables, I will make all those things that day. I will stick my steel cut oats in the crock pot and cook them in there. I will go ahead and boil about 6 eggs. Eggs are a great protein source. They're a low calorie snack. For me, it's like a meal because, as you know, I've had vertical sleeve gastrectomy. If I'm going to have roasted vegetables, I will peel those sweet potatoes, all those root vegetables, even toss them in that olive oil and with the spices, get them ready to either bake another day, or you can bake them that day and then just worry about reheating them with the rest of your meal, like your protein and whatever else you're going to be eating that night. These are things that I'm telling you, they feel like a lot in the beginning, but it's much easier for me to do these things and spend 2 days on my meal prep for the week. And that's what I spend, 2 days, I say. That evening to meal plan, that to have the groceries delivered then the next day. And then once the groceries come, I do all my meal prep, I wash all my produce, I put everything away, and I know what I'm doing for the week. Number 4, just for some fun, write out your meal menu plan. It's nice to see that visual aid of what you're going to be having, and it just keeps that reminder of what you had planned and what you're going to do for that week. Not just for you, but a lot of times for your family, right? If you have a family, they can also see that as well. Write out your breakfasts, your lunches, your dinners. If you don't want to do that, it's fine to skip that step, but it's nice if you have a family and they're asking you, what's for breakfast, what's for dinner? Look on the board, it's right there, or whatever it is, right? It's right there for them. I also will make breakfasts on the weekend, something special that is kind of that treat. Lately, I have been getting some keto bread, which is really low carb, high fiber, and I will make a French toast with that. I'll make extra. That's something so easy to just then pop in the toaster oven or even the microwave, and then you have breakfast. And by spending that little bit of extra time that you're spending in those 2 days, rather than doing it all throughout the week, or maybe not because you don't have time, you have created for yourself your own fast food, your healthy fast food. If it's there, you're more likely to eat it. I know I am like that. If it's available, I'll eat it. If I have nothing prepared in the fridge, if there's nothing ready, I'm much quicker to make a food choice that may not be the best for me. So tip number 5 is have protein shakes on hand, whether that's either a protein powder or a pre-made protein shake. This is a great grab and go meal or snack. If you're really feeling hungry and you don't have anything at the moment, that is going to help stabilize your blood sugar. Just make sure you look at the ingredients in it. You typically want to go for 0 sugar, or maybe there's, I think like Premier Protein has like 1 gram of sugar in it. just keep that sugar content low. I steer away from things like protein bars because they're loaded with all kinds of crap, all kinds of sugar. I steer away from a lot of pre-made things, but I'll talk about that stuff in another video. Today, I just kind of wanted to share those like 5 tips with you that I use that definitely help me stay on track to eat healthfully as I continue on with life. I feel good about feeding my family, and I feel good about what I'm putting into my body. If you're interested in learning a little bit more, I will be adding some things that I do keep on hand to make things even simpler. I'll probably record that video shortly. Some things I keep on hand for easy meals, and some of that stuff is a little bit pre-made, but we'll go over that. So I do hope that this was helpful. Do not feel overwhelmed. Remember, it has to be maintainable. But sometimes you don't know if it's going to be sustainable or maintainable. Is that a word? Maintainable. Okay. You guys get it. Until you try it, right? You have to try things. But definitely spend that time meal planning in the evening, let's say Friday. Get your groceries on Saturday. Do your put your groceries away, do your meal prepping at the same time, and then you're all ready to go for the rest of the week. You know, spending very little time actually cooking a full meal because you've done that setup already. So whatever you can to do that is going to save you time later on so that you're making those better food choices. I do hope everyone is well out there, and thank you for watching this, and have a great day. Bye.